Ridham, you've also written in your report that the market would frown at a broad coalition. How would you define a broad coalition? Beyond what number is it narrow or broad in your sense?
I think it is defined by the lead party. So if the Congress or the BJP is not the lead party and doesn't have, say, 150 seats, then I think we get into a broad coalition. So then you have many more parties with smaller numbers coming together. Inherently, that's not stable. Inherently, that's a government that will find it difficult to execute.
What about a Congress or a BJP with only 125, 130 seats?
I think that would also come under the broad coalition, a slightly better version of the broad coalition, but definitely not that which will satisfy the market.
How do you think the markets will react if you got that scenario, that the leading party is 140, 150, no more than that, and to get to 272, you ally not only with the left, which the stock market hates, but with Mayawati, which is an unknown factor, and with Jayalalitha, or either of two of these three. Do you think the markets will be very uncertain?
So I don't like to get into short-term forecasting. I'm very bad at I'm very bad at that. But I think if on 16th May, I think we're not going to get a government, from whatever I've heard over the last two sessions.
That doesn't require a great amount of insight.
So it'll take 20 days, maybe 15 days, maybe 25 days. And those 20 days could be hell for the market. I mean, it could be hell for traders. The markets could be quite volatile. So that will be the initial behavior, I think, of the market. After that, it will settle down into some range, depending on what government is formed. And then it will, I think, ultimately depend on how the government executes. So the first few policy announcements, I think, will really give the market direction. So as such, I think you may get a knee-jerk reaction post the elections, then a bit of volatility in that scenario, and then I think the market will wait for the first few policy announcements, how strongly the government wants to emphasize the economic situation and go forward. So,
Rakesh, I'll have to drag you down to the short term. I know you followed politics very closely, so don't talk only long-term, great India story. I want your simple response to two scenarios. Which is worse from a stock market perspective? A government supported by the left, or a government which includes Mayawati in a big way?
I think the lesser evil is the second. The lesser evil.
Is the lesser devil?
No, government supported by Mayawati, no?
Yeah.
Anything is better than the communists.
So you're saying NDA supported by Mayawati is vastly better than UPA supported by the left?
I think so.
You think so?
I think so.
What if Mayawati were to be Prime Minister in that government?
What if I were to be the Prime Minister?
We are only discussing scenarios.
With 30 MPs, you have dreams of being Prime Minister.
Come on, Rakesh, humor me.
I want to consider something, or I apply my mind to something which I think is in the realms of possibilities. I don't apply my mind to something in the realms of fantasy. Whom can she align with? Who's ready to sit with her on the same table?
What if she supports the UPA but exacts the price of Prime Ministership as a price?
That would be a small price to pay for this country. The country is far richer than her price.
So you'll be fine with her?
And the matters at stake are far greater than her price.
So markets will be fine with Mayawati as Prime Minister?
Not Mayawati as Prime Minister. Mayawati is supporting.
That's what I'm asking. What if Mayawati becomes Prime Minister for the price of the support?
Dekhenge yaar. What if you were to marry Mayawati? Dekhenge. Then you see, yaar.
Okay, the joke's on me. Vallabh, which of these two is the worst possibility for the stock market? A UPA supported by the left or any government supported by Mayawati?
I think any government supported by Mayawati would be more acceptable. I would also like to say that market is many situations. Say the market has crashed for whatever reason, even before such a result comes. And then you have a government, and then some policy statements start coming out. Some of the important portfolios are given to people that you think potentially can perform. The market may start reacting differently because the market has to make a price every day. And so I think we are talking of scenarios rather than, market reactions after the elections. And it is possible, so for example, I like to go back to Narasimha Rao. Narasimha Rao, so to say, was a congressman. But what sort of base did he have in Congress?
The old man did the reform.
So it is the art of possible again, as I would say. And I have seen scenarios which I can't discuss, where people say that it is absolutely possible that the regional parties can be given what they want and the country can go forward if you have a sensible Prime Minister. And who knows, if Mayawati is able to achieve her ultimate ambition of becoming the Prime Minister, how she will behave.
Who thought Lalu Prasad Yadav could have got 1 lakh crore surplus in the railways? Thought of it at night every time. Now, what surprises politically can happen that Mr. Lalu Prasad Yadav will preside over a ministry, which will be a matter of study by Harvard Business School, which has performed. He has performed. There's no joke about it. Yeah? Would you ever imagine it?
No, I wouldn't have.
Neither would I.
I wouldn't have. Truly, Rakesh is right.